Okay. And then we can just go from there. Well, welcome. Welcome to Planet Poetry 28, the September 2022 edition. I'm Mark Fishbein, the poet with guitar. Though I not be playing today, here people are cutting to come in. Let me, wow. Okay. Welcome, one and all. Thank you for coming. I was just starting. I was just doing the introduction. Welcome, one and all, to Planet Poetry September. I'm Mark Fishbein, host from the Poetry Global Network. And here we do something a little bit different. As you know, we all kind of share our poetry on the screen so we can see each other's written craft as well as enjoy each other's performing crafts. And adds a little bit of a new dimension to the way we can see poetry on Zoom in this Hollywood Squares kind of a venue where it's two dimensions with half of a body and most of the time not even that, and all the bad microphones and all that. So I find it's wonderful to be able to see all your poems and enjoy them on a new level. And I really appreciate you coming. I'll begin to break the ice, and oh, who's that? And I guess we don't care to mute everybody, but if you have some ambient noise, if you could mute yourself during the read, would be fine. Okay. I'll start with telling the grandchildren. Tomorrow, we will run out of graham crackers. The shelves in the stores are all dry, like the sidewalks with crevices. Watch out for your ankles. The clinics are closed and bandages dear. The bridges have collapsed into the scabby riverbed. Tomorrow, we'll run out of marshmallows and the milk chocolates. There will be no more s'mores. We may never eat another or another, like we have done to pass the summer nights. We live in the moment of the s'mores, bubbling in black from the fire, afraid to synthesize the future and addicted to the taste of burnt sugar. This is something you cannot yet understand, because at Grandpa's house, there were always more s'mores. This is part of a series of poems I wrote when we were doing an open mic at Bottoms Up on 9/11. This is the third part of the poem. It's called Tomorrow, 9/11/2022. They spit at my freedom. I spit at their tyrannies. I burn their holy books. They burn mine. I brand the medieval with their maidens enslaved. They brand me the infidel with my porno and whiskey. They are where they were with their goats loads with opium, but not without cell phones and computerized religion. And we are where we were, with revamped drones spying from the satellites, picking off the figureheads like at a shooting arcade. They are where they were, with their fallen caliphate. Most of the jihadis have returned to their villages, with some forever housed in our cages. They hear the morning minaret song, while still our church bells ring to defend the tribes of Jerusalem. Butchery is always on call, as revenge remains the holy shield from the stupidity of it all. These next two poems are from a collection I was writing during the beginning of the Ukraine war. These are the last two that I wrote sometime in May, June. This is called Waiting Out the Stalemate. And it was based on it started off with a prompt from something I heard Margarita Simonyan, journalist and head of Russian TV, told viewers that nuclear war would be okay because we're all going to die someday. This to my horror, but that's what it is, what it is. There are points of view and there is truth. There is what we see hourly from 1,000 lenses. There are millions of refugees living in cities of neatly laid tents, like moths on a cold and dead land. These are those who know this. There are those who know this game and see the long months or years ahead. red and black ants attacking from the flanks, from one no man's land to another. What will come to pass, driven by the dry winds of hate? One side accepts the Armageddon as prophesied by cosmic revelations, and the other is offered a simple decree. Since we all must die, let us all die together. Didn't communism change anything? I don't believe in heaven. Democracy can set you free. Oh, blah dee, oh, blah da. It was what it was. Putin does not declare victory. The troops retreat and the artillery still. A sea of landmines becomes acres between them. The trenches are deeper than a century past. The predator surrounded by wild dogs must grab a leg or rack of ribs and be content with his take. The bodies of Russians are cremated so they will not return home to be buried. It was Victory Day in the Kremlin. The last war was to blame, as always is. The baboon with the brightest ass leads the pack until the next baboon. Putin, the not so great. History will bury you too, my little socialist darling. I'll end with a lighter note. Where I come from, jellyfish like snowflakes rise iridescent cobalt in moonlit tides. Grass grows sideways off the ground. Birds fly backwards by Tiepolo clouds. Where I come from, airplanes hover like anchored boats. Buildings sway, statues float. Wild dogs philosophize being wild. Lions wear crowns of dandelions. Where I come from, we talk to trees who laugh hysterically like bees. I'm a stranger here without wings where reality is worshipped, when imagination sings. As the universe scolds me to despair, from daily tragedies I must bear. Where I come from, we survive and dream. It is the way we play God, awake or in sleep. And thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. Well, our next reader was to be Svango, but I don't see him. I spoke to him before and he was going to be here, but I don't see him. So we'll move on. And if he should come back, we'll take it from there. Get my list here. Our next is Lesley Constable. Hi, Lesley. Lesley is a U.S. UK citizen living in UK, Mexico, and in Santa Fe. I'm not sure where you are right now. Lesley, you'll tell us. She's a lifelong rock and roll hippie chick. I love that. She worked as a journalist, art critic, university art gallery curator. She's also a widely exhibited painter. Her poems have been published in the US, UK journals, anthologies since 1999, with the 2015 collection available on Amazon.
Yep.
Hi, Lesley.
Hi. I'm in the UK, but planning to head westward within the month or so. So that's what I'm going to do. So do I just hit share screen?
Well, you should hit the share and you can hit that and then hit the share button. It should work. Yes.
Okay. All right. I see it. Good. There we go. All right. So I'm going to begin. This one's called The Sound of a Bell Through Water. Why would you say I am from the stars, the sky, when I could equally be from dirt, equally and unequally of dirt as I am stars? I am that, those, both. When I die, maybe, yes, I will connect to the firmament, but will then, of course, be sent to dirt, placed in dirt, or in a finer form dust, where I came from, where I belong. The matter of stars, the groundwater, the sound of water makes the publicized sense of a star, the matter of a star and nothing more. It makes a good case about from where we come. And what is the difference? roar at the moonlight known in a long series of compromises. I find that I am not who I am, but a stranger, not what I expected or what I want. Leaving again, I said to the birds, is there difference or only sameness or both? So the next one is a little bit of a rant, and it's about writing poetry. So it's called The Seated Cloud. The thoughts that come to you come into your head and rumble round or snake insidious, the ones, you know these thoughts, the ones that have shape, their own substance and form, image, even music, but cannot be given voice, never that, because this asks too much, like clouds forming and shifting, disappearing and reforming. They are yours, fragile, inside the workings of your mind, like when the sun hits cloud, fragile, they are amorphous, unheard, and deeply, deeply private. These ghosts of thoughts, your ghosts of ideas that form, wanting birth yet hide, wanting yet hide, waiting and want and wait and tears sometimes. These phantoms that cannot stand up to the proof of considered thought, that cannot stand up to language, that cannot exist in the light of day, but only in containment. Is that what your life is? Is that who you are? No one knows but you. They are the formation, your thoughts of clouds. They are the beginning. They are the seeds, clouds becoming rain, or the easy words you say, words without clouds when the sun is right up there, bold and over hot in the sky, even though you are in shadow. These words you say, forming them with your mouth, your tongue, your lips. Is this you? We can falsify, we can deny, we can withhold, hold deep into us those truths which have no form, but only words, or which have only form and not words, or words that won't form, and wait until forever for the true thoughts, override them with chit-chat, with the mundane, the inane, but there is that moment, yes, when the weight of necessity, the weight of insistence, the weight of our own truth, the need to get these damn things out of our heads and finally, deeply say, speak, talk, write, scream, get out, get out, get out, shapes, the constructs, the towers, the rivers, the pyramids, our islands, the bridges, explode them all and talk, write, be, make the bridge. Fuse them, private ideas, public talk. You are the seated cloud. You are the rain. Make us all wet. And then this short one called Infinity Poised or Forgetting, and it's dedicated to Seamus Heaney. When you pass through the time of remembering to the time of forgetting, time is gone. To get to the time of forgetting, you have positioned yourself in infinity, poised at the entrance, at the entry, at the apex, the portal. You go apeshit, the hunger of eating yourself in time, consuming, the consuming to be the consummation of self. It doesn't matter. It is part of what you need to do as others before you have. No thoughts of worries, no thoughts, only time, now unfading from memory as it should. The practicing of the moment of departure from material form. And then this one's called Rock. I got fancy with this one. Rock. We cannot know that this, the that, and the this of what we know about life as life at the same moment as life is all we know. All that is known is when we say what is around us, when it is around us. When we open our eyes in the moment, we clearly see that on the ground at our feet is a smooth stone. And for that moment, we see it. We stop and take it, stop and pick it up, and we hold it in the palm, turning it over, and hold it and feeling its heat, for it does hold the heat as surely as we do of existence. Then we hold it, take it in, that which is rock, that which is alive as rock, take it into us, which is alive as human, and We, alive, brother, sister, all, and we, for a moment, understand life, if at the next moment, in putting it down back in its place where we found it on the ground, we forget. Even if we forget this moment, we know that we had once this glory of knowing we are alive, and we had that which is ours never to forget, that we as us, the we in us, in this one moment, which is ours to never forget. It is ours, it is life. Do I have time for one more or no?
I think we're a little bit over time, but that was just that was really great, the- Lesley. To see the I think we're over time, but if you don't mind, but that was really great. It's interesting how we can stop the share for a sec, David or Lesley. Yeah, it's interesting how you use different poetic lines and different forms of prose, that new form of prose poem style. I would never have conceived that as you were if you were just reading it to me. So to see it is really a treat. You can really get into this kind of unique style that you're evolving with. It's really really very interesting. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that with us. It's very engaging.
Thank you very much.
Indeed. Yeah. Well, thank you and welcome all who've come in, Western Gustav and others. Our next poet is Richard Harries. Richard writes of himself, I am from Yorkshire in the north of England and I'm 70 years old. You're just a kid.
Yes, definitely.
For some of us who are a little considerably older than that. I perform all over the north. I was signed to Stairwell Books of York, and they published my first book of poems, Awakening, in February of 2021. You wrote 1021, so I think it would be 2021.
Oh, right, yes, backwards way there, yes.
It was the best seller of the year. And his new book, Iconic Tattoo, is out now. Two of his poems were part of the Saboteur nominated project. Welcome, Richard. Thanks for joining.
Yes, and I have no idea how to share a document.
Oh
So
dear.
I pressed share.
Yeah, is your document on your desktop? Where you should see it when you
Well,
press
I'm on
share.
my phone. My laptop has a problem with its sound card, so I'm on my phone at the moment.
Oh, it's very difficult to do. You
And
know what we should do, Richard? It's very difficult to do on your phone.
yes,
Send me the poems, the document, and then I'll move on, and then I'll put it on for you and scroll for you. Okay?
okay, fine, I'll do that.
Thank you very much for that.
Right, cheers.
So, is Jennifer here? There you are. Hi, Jennifer. Yes, I see you now. Hi, Jennifer. Welcome. Jennifer's motherland is Jamaica, West Indies. She grew up without a mother, raised by a single father, graduated from Catholic secondary school, worked as an executive assistant, migrated to Germany, working there until retiring in 2019, featuring at the Nuyorican Poets Café as well as Sugar Shack in Harlem, co-featuring as the Green Mill Lounge in Chicago and Jamaica, Toronto, Germany, and taking part in various poetry slams in Germany. Her collection, Romantically, Erotic, Deadly Spiritual Society, is available online, bookstores, and print, and an email. You can please put in the chat any later on any relationship to that. And Richard, take your time, Richard. Just send me as you would on as an email, and I'll pick it up. And Jennifer, take it away. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My first poem is unpublished, and the other three I'll do, or other two, they're in my book, which Mark mentioned. Okay, I begin. Sacrifice. Sorry, shared screen. One second. Oh, but I'm not seeing it. It's there before. Yeah. Okay, I pressed shared screen. I gave it.
You got it. Yes.
Can you see now?
Yes, it's coming up. There you go. Got it.
Okay, good. Okay, sacrifice. Daddy, I am weak. I wish you were here. Need your strength, for I now know I must leave the man I love. You told me often, think of others more than of myself. Now I know what you meant. That's why I must go. I must go because of him. I must go to help myself. The shock will help him more than my loving attempts to make him happy. I have given up. If he had hoped I'd take these steps, then he will be delighted. Another woman will profit, unfortunately, but then I'd have helped him. If he comes back to me, then I'd have helped him also, because through losing me, he'd have realized what I really mean to him. Whatever step I take, I'd be helping him. I may lose the man I love, but I love him enough to help him one last time. Daddy, please give me the strength to help him, though I'll hurt myself. The next one is titled Spirits Talk to Me. Eyes closed, legs crossed. Over the middle passage, sent my mind sailing, a vessel, deep meditation. Yes, I sat in a deep trance, working on a private seance. Spirits, spirits, spirits of the night sit and talk to me. Spirits of the night, tell me, what do you see? Eyes closed, legs crossed. Shooting across the sky, I sent my mind searching. A vessel, new revelation. Spirits, spirits, spirits of the night sit and talk to me. Spirits of the night, tell me, what do you see? Will there be an end to the longest battle, and for the Son of God was born? Will World War III be so long and bloody? Will the bones of the dead circulate the earth? Spirits, spirits, spirits of the night, sit and talk to me. Spirits of the night, tell me what you see. Me, spirits, me, spirits, spirits. Last one, so it'll journey to your mind. Let me journey to your mind, honey. Then can I tell if you were really meant to be mine? Good looks alone is not enough for me to judge someone by. Personality and a good mind are what really gets me high. So first, I must journey to a hidden place. It truly reveals who, what you are. Let me journey to your mind. Then I tell if you were really meant to be mine. Let me journey to your mind. I love you deeply. I tell you that, not yet. I need you badly, not reveal all that yet. When I journey to your mind, when will you unlock the door? When will you let me in? I need to know what goes on in there. I need to know, I just must know you're the one for me to share my life with. I do so want to share myself, all my love with you. I've opened up all my doors. You are still a mystery. I give you me. Should I not, given all? Is you're holding back me in the beginning of my fall? Give me even just a little glance. It will reveal to me if there is the remotest chance. Picking me out is neither loving nor kind. You let me journey your mind. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Wow. What an interesting way of separating words by putting a dot in between. I think I've ever seen that. And I think it's very effective style with what you're doing for sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
as well as your reading.
Thank you, Mark. Thank
Yeah,
you.
very personal. Thank you so much, Jennifer. That was wonderful.
Thanks for having me,
Sure.
Mark.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, David, who I made host, can you hit the share? Thank you. I have your poems, Richard, but I put them on, but I can only put up one at a time. I couldn't put them in one single document. So there'll be a slight pause in between each of your poems while I set them back up. But here's your first one. Hold on, please. Share. Thank you.
I'm just making sure this is, oh yes. This is in my new book, which is called Iconic Tattoo, and which is out on Amazon on the 1st of November. The first book is on Amazon worldwide. And this is on David Bowie passing. So he had a new album out, causing a fuss, getting rave reviews, and a new single that was a huge success already too. He has been around so long, always changing, reinventing, always making comebacks when he has never actually been away. My first memory of him is Major Tom, startling on Top of the Pops. So many brilliant things through the decades. He has truly touched the lives of millions and has been adored. His music will last eternally. He will remain adored. Unique, no one like him, an ever-changing chameleon, visually, artistically, musically. I got up late, overslept, turned on the TV. Philip Schofield sat there. He's a UK announcer. Looking sad, a picture of Bowie illuminating the screen. Oh, his album's #1, is it? I thought. And then the words announcing his death came. I could not comprehend this. I'd been expecting a tour. My brain would not accept this dreadful news. It took a long time for the words to sink in and for me to accept this tragedy. A man to be mourned the world over, leaving us far too soon. And I wrote really that out of shock. I just wasn't comprehending it. And I write from emotion, and that emotion was the shock of it.
Indeed. All right, I'm setting up the second one. Be 2 seconds. Yeah. I was at the David Bowie. They had a tremendous David Bowie exhibit at the Chicago Institute. It's just amazing. And I
Yeah.
love the way he would take poetry. Here's your poem. He would take poetry and just find words in a dictionary and put them together and then create a poem out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. David? There it is, share screen. I got you. Oh, okay.
And as the world is laughing at the UK for destroying itself and sort of jumping off a cliff like a load of lemmings with Johnson and now this dreadful Liz Truss, we've got recent events in our country. We've had a mini budget, which has just, this poem explains it. And it's Quateng's nonsense, and he's the Chancellor of the Exchequer. A new mini budget announced by Quateng lets bankers become richer, even richer, as they fail the country and close the high street banks. And takes the caps off their bonuses. How will that help people eat? How will that help people eat? Scrap the higher rate of income tax of the rich, those not worried about heating or eating. The lowest incomes? Well, not much at all. Quateng says we have too much over redistribution. Not so, the Tories never fought over that. Attacking the unions, fighting for what is right as always. Attack universal credit claimants, as always, making them work longer or face benefits cuts, when it is insane that people who work can't work full-time and can't earn a living wage. What bollocks. Instead of massaging figures, changing statistics, but not changing lives for the better, how about investing in and creating real jobs? Then he says, if this does not work, they will borrow billions again. They will bring in more public service cuts. God help us, there's not much left. The quality of our lives has dropped, vastly dropped, with decades of cuts. People blame the council when the councils are as poor as church mice. Calls the past policies ridiculous. Well, we have had over a decade and more of ridiculous Tories. And Tories are the right wing, I think, like the Republicans. Yes. And yes, they've actually taken the cap off bankers' bonuses. You know, they can get more than 30 billion now, sort of thing, you know. And I think we've become the world's laughing stock.
Can you see that?
And this was written as recently as last night, so it may alter. But I got up in the middle of the night, and I always turn on the news for 5 minutes, can't go with it for longer than that. And it says, it's called The IMF Says. Got up in the middle of the night, as I do, sleepless, turned TV on, BBC, smug white woman, scaremongering about refugees, how many are still arriving in the UK, and how they should be sent on to Rwanda, how that was legal and right. Across the bottom of the screens, the headlines in small letters while she ranted on, distracting from the truth. The IMF is closely watching the UK economy. Oh yes, the International Monetary Fund. Remember them, they devalued the pound once before. They have noted the recent mini budget will likely increase inequality. Well, bloody hell, you don't need a degree to work that one out. More ramblings about immigrants arriving from Mrs. Nasty while the headlines continue. Bank of England rates may well rise again. Mortgage lenders halting some deals. So some poor sods can't move as they desperately wanted to. So while this is happening, let's rant about the cost of putting immigrants in hotel. I mean, there have been no big extravagant state expenditures recently. The government are always so frugal, while folk freeze and are hungry, can't afford to live. Let's blame someone who is not even in the country yet. Labour is in front in the polls, and it's taken the economy to be so dire for that to happen. And, you know, it's just amazing what's happening day by day here as they destroy our economy and our way of life. Our supermarkets are half empty. You know, it's just, yes.
Well,
Food
thank
is
you.
doubling in price. Yeah.
Interesting style of which a lot of us have been using lately. Not too much punctuation and and the works that you have. I think for the sake of time, I'm going to say that's that would be your time up. But that was great, especially writing something last night to share so soon. Thank you
Yes,
so much.
Yeah, the mini budget one was fairly recent as well. They both might get edited before they're finished, but they're so raw and so important to people in the UK that I thought I had to do them now, you know. Yes, my book's called Iconic Tattoo. The other one is on Barnes and Noble and Amazon and everything like that, and it's called Awakening, and they're both with Stairwell Books of York.
Put it in the chat if you would be so kind.
Yes,
Okay.
I will try. Yes.
Thank you, Richard, for that.
Cheers.
Well, Ravichandra Chittampalli, I hope I got that right.
Yeah, you got it right.
Chair of the Department of English, University of Mysore, was Northrop Frye Fellow, University of Toronto, the Sunday Mall, Lakeview Annual Shakespeare, otherwise engaged, Aurora, Blossoms, a whole list of of published poems, quite extensive. His translations from Kannada into English are published by Sahitya Akademi, New Delhi. He reads his poems on Q's Blue World and Unmeshed Life, and presently lives in faraway Malaysia. Well, far away from me, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, may I share screen, please?
Oh, please do, yes. And it should be coming on to us soon.
Okay, this is presently we are celebrating in India and elsewhere where the Indian diaspora lives, the festival of 9 nights called Navaratri. Each night is dedicated to a form of the female goddess Parvati. Though the poem is starts from a cultural specificity, it tries to go beyond that. So, and in this era of the internet, we can easily access which night is dedicated to which goddess. So I won't bore you with that. I'll go straight to the poem. And if I shoot over time, please stop the share screen. That would be my cue to stop blabbering. So here you go. A prayer to Durga. Under the threat of deathly shadows, I pray to you, Durga, the imponderable, whose might alone can save this humanity from perdition. Destroy the demons in us, set free the meek and the good. I light a single camphor, in which light I wish for the darkness of the mind to dispel, even as the children of the petite bear brighten the dark sky at this hour above me. Dog's house, those fabricated 7 steps carefully erected, all bolts and nuts in place, properly tightened with number 16, 12, 10, and 2, the right spanner for the right bolt, the fall of white sheet to cushion. The bare dolls are then dressed, a king and his queen in brocade, crowned with silken turban and pearly tiara, enthroned on the auspicious hour, on the highest of pedestals, the first of the grand procession, the royal entourage with courtiers, gods, and the consorts, the lesser fairies, warriors, merchants, and dancers, the musicians, the charmers with their wares. The farmer and his animals all proceed from the year-long sequestered lives. The 10-year-old sprinkles a cup of millet grains, earth brown upon a bed of plastic and mud, sprinkles water to grow a lawn at home, then carefully transplants trees, bushes, nestled amidst who animals and birds silently preen in shiny coats under watchful eyes. Who dared disturb the young sannyasin tonight? Why does she meditate in such austerity? A body made for fineries is dressed but in white. The torture spot cushions her bare feet with oleander, jasmine, as the hibiscus bends over her feet, spraying fresh dew. May she, the dreamer or the drummer, find beyond the tiger, the serpent, the force that softens her heart. May tonight be the beginning of a birth, of the child who shall rid us of all evil. Night of the burnished bell, lion rider, moon bearer, burnished bell, arm ninefold, carrier of life's ocean, may you hide from us all your aspects, but the one of blessing with love. Blithe presence amidst the fearsome host, leaning against the matlock fiery-eyed consort, how you refuse us our one solace. Of praying to you in this hour of need, you have stopped me and others from ascending the 1,160 steps, the hill where I weakly ranged, climbing every rock, every boulder, as bees stung, a serpent slither, melting golden under the tender sun. Mankind is not slaughter for your wedding feast. I shall offer you the shell fruit of Baal, accept and assuaged, Stop this procession of death, even as you convince the ashmere grow as benign as a gold-skinned marble. Let your kindness defreeze from its glacial state to flow from the cup you carry to absolve. Astro crematorium. Okay, thank you. So that ends my reading.
I think one of the nice things about this event is that it is recorded, and so I have a chance to go back and just look at some of these great images and words that all of us present here. You know, you have a second shot at it, or as much as you want. It'll be on YouTube in a day or two. I just put it on, and so I'll send you all the link and also send you the time in what you read, so you can just refer you or your friends to that particular time as well, like a table of contents. And there was a lot in there. I'm glad I'm going to have a chance to read it again. I mean, I just got caught on one or two lines, and they just caught me, and I can't move on. So, I need that time, and that's great. But thank you, though. It's really high, elevated, and wonderful poetry from everyone here. And thank you, Richard Ravichandra. Well, our next poet, Leonard Lund, is modestly from Chicago. He's a poet, photographer, historian, soft fictionalist. His works have appeared internationally since 1965, and you need a phone book to read all the stuff he's been published about. So, but he's more concerned with the moment, and it's impressing with his present poetry, which I'm sure you will, Leonard.
I will certainly
Glad to
try.
be in Chicago where you are now.
Yeah, Chicago's pretty nice right now. It's not boiling hot. It's not freezing cold, and
I moved here for
it's
the
not
weather.
raining.
Yeah, I moved here for the weather. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
One of the coldest spots on earth, if you don't know.
Yeah. Okay, you ready to share me?
Anytime.
Okay,
Do I
you've got my file.
Oh dear. Okay. Oh, I forgot. I have to look that up. I'm sorry, fellas.
You want to go on with somebody else?
Yeah, I just have to pick it up.
Yeah.
I lost the track there. I'm sorry, Leonard.
No problem. I'm not going anywhere.
Okay, sure. So Richard, are you set? Richard Temple? Yeah, you are. Okay, thank you. Hi, you're on mute. Richard Temple is a poet and writer living in Wales. His poetry has been included in anthologies including They Want All Their Teeth to Be Theirs, Culture Matters 2021, Songs of Peace, Authors Press 2022, and Wuxing Lyrical, Gloomy Seahorse Press 2022, as well as literary journals in Denmark and the United States. He's performed on the Monkey Poet stage in 2022, Unorthodox Paradox Festival in Wales. He performs regularly at spoken word events and online, and I'm sure we'll all enjoy Richard Temple.
Thank you. Thank you. How long do I have? Can I do
About five-ish minutes, if that's okay.
minutes? Okay. Right. Let me just try and figure out how to share screen then. I think that's right. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
How do I get? Oh God. Okay. It's covering up the thing. Right. Okay. So I'm gonna do a handful of recent ones. None of these are published, so hope they work. This is I Want My Poetry Too. I want my poetry to speak to you, to break straight through the walls of individuality, the illusion that divides our reflections as we try to unify, to see that you and me, that the forest is the trees and breathe. We have our own perspective. We interpret our surroundings, confounding those who would separate, who hate the contrasts and the mysteries, secrets, personalities, knowing that inclusion risks fusion. If words can heal, appeal, or reveal to just one listener the nature of the mirror that reflects itself forever and knows itself unique, it's our duty to speak. And this is indeed The Teacher. This was written for International Teachers' Day about a month ago, I think. Oh, September, there you go. Understanding, comprehending this crazy confusion, this dream and delusion requires communication, validation, the value and reason of diverse experience, exploring, creating impossible potential, the essential cause, elemental force. Interpretation of ultimate isolation requires division, precision, and eventual assimilation. Our adventures are not for us, but are blended through vast lenses, melding futures and past till once more we pass on and expand on the tales. The powerless reach out, speak out, teach us. Experience unshared is squandered and lost at a cost, resistant to our existence. Another lost instant between teacher and student. Eternal reinvention, environmental contentions, conflicts, confusions, and hard-fought conclusions, till every last one is the sun and the stars and the near and the far, and accept that we are indeed the teacher. Okay. I tend to read quite fast, so that's why I asked about time rather than how many I've got. This is Madman. See that madman? Mumbling, humanity crumbling, stumbling through halls of hostility. Don't look at me. Somebody should take responsibility, intervene as he screams, as he sees the schemes of machinery, riddles and remedies, conspiracies, obscenities, the voices, the choices denied, the danger assessed and addressed by those who know best, alarmed that he's armed with the spike of a flag from a golf course. Of course, the attack is preemptive. We have to prevent possible harm, a breach of our peace, enforced by police with batons and cuffs. It's enough to ensure that we ignore his words as he talks, unsettling strangers, pouring his heart in the gutter, calling to his brother, now lost to the ether, no hero nor killer, performing a duty, defeating an enemy, compelled to hostility for the good of society, in the interests of industry, money and energy. The family's loss is collateral tragedy. Do you call that sanity? Where does that leave me? Bereaved and a threat to your very reality. If that's what you see, I'm compelled to agree that the madman is me. I'll try and squeeze one more in. The last laugh. When you hear me laughing, don't assume jollity or mockery or any emotion you casually ascribe to me. I just struggle to take this reality seriously. I'm not disingenuous. It's just that we know too much, every single one of us. We must laugh or we'd cry as we're waiting to die. Immersion in misery is required of humanity, chronological frailty. If you judge my mirth as misplaced or perverse, inappropriate or worse, well, you have no monopoly on chronic absurdity. Pause and observe that our dreams and our memories are redundancies, tragedies, and if this strikes a nerve, please let me preserve what's left of my sanity and remember this and embrace this rich tapestry. While we merrily march to meet our death, I will open my heart and pray my last breath is a laugh. We got time for one more? You're muted, Mark. I don't know you say.
Yes, I believe you do.
Oh, cool. Thanks. A benefit of reading everything ridiculously quickly. Friends are not a blessing. Friends are not a blessing, no prayer manifesting, but rather life's labour forged flesh, potential of endeavours, earning notice, love and favour, inspiring with adventures, a tribe to chime or challenge, society and family, fellow travellers to subvert, divert, aimless wanderings of birth, raw potential, experiential, existential, a true story, a mythology, no bequeathal of a blessing intervening in our being, but the only wealth and meaning in this dreaming we call life. Thank you.
Yeah, Richard, thank you. Yeah, you do read quickly. I think most of us poets do have a tendency to do as much. But one of the advantages we have when you're showing us the poem is we can read along with you and so catch it.
You got a chance.
It's a little more difficult when you're just reading, and especially in a not a live setting. David, could you hit the share? It's especially if you're not in a live setting. Sometimes you can catch a lot more of it, but in this particular setting,